Hi artists, and welcome back to another tutorial video. Today, I will share the entire process, how I converted this blank page to a realistic sketch of this fly. So without wasting any time, let's jump straight into it. These are the sketching supplies I used to draw this drawing. However, you can use some alternatives like a highlighter instead of a Posca marker, and a switched-off electric eraser instead of a mono zero eraser. For my drawings, I used this Starthmore 400 series sketchbook. Its drawing area is 9 x 12 inches. If you want to buy the same one, then I have dropped the link of it in the description down below. And if you don't have a sketchbook, then you can use an ordinary chart paper. I drew the outlines for this drawing using grid method. If you want to learn grid method in detail, then click here. You can find the link to both reference image and grid outlined image in the description. Okay, now moving on to the drawing. Firstly, observe the reference image very carefully, and then try to analyze what supplies you should use in order to match it with the reference. I am using a mechanical pencil for this specific part, varying the pressure accordingly. To lift some darkness off the paper, use a perfection eraser. Carefully draw such lines using an 8B pencil, and the smaller lines using a mechanical pencil. Now darken the outlines in the head part using a mechanical pencil or 6B pencil. Afterwards, use 8B pencil and drag it across the sandpaper. Use the graphite powder to shade over the dark areas in the drawing. This way you will get a more subtle and smooth shade. Use a 5B pencil to blend the layer. Draw such small details in this part using a 3B pencil. Small details holds a key part in the realism of your artwork. Lift some of the darkness using a perfection eraser, and also use it to draw some blurry highlights. Draw such dots to give it some texture. At the end, use a white Posca marker or a white highlighter to draw such small dots in between the dark lines, and later blend it using a blending stamp. For the eye, first draw the base layer using a 5B pencil by pressure technique. Later blend it using a smooth brush. For the second layer, use an 8B pencil with a low angle, and yet again blend it using a smooth brush. Sharpen your electric eraser by dragging it across this sandpaper while it's on. This way you'll get a sharp tip. Using this sharp tip electric eraser, draw such dots with great precision. These should be more of thin lines than dots. By taking more time here, you allow yourself to notice the subtle nuances and intricate features that define the subject, which can make a significant difference in the overall quality of the artwork. Later, use your mechanical pencil or a sharp tip HB pencil to draw small dots in between the highlights. For the back, firstly darken the outlines using a mechanical pencil. Then use 4B or 5B pencil to draw the gradient in this specific part. Use pressure technique whenever you want to draw a gradient. Or if you are a complete beginner, then use multiple grade pencils starting from the lower grades. Blend this layer using a smooth brush. Draw the second layer using a 6B pencil with a low angle. Similarly, blend it with a smooth brush. Draw the bright highlights using an electric eraser. Lift the darker shades using a perfection eraser. Draw such small dots across the entire surface to give it the texture. At the end, draw the sharp, dotted highlights in between the dark shades using an electric eraser. Draw the base shade in this area using a 5B pencil. Blend it afterwards with minimum pressure. For the highlights, use an electric eraser. Draw such thinner lines that will serve as the highlights in this part. Then use a mechanical pencil to draw sharp dots in between the highlights. These will serve as the shadows. After darkening the outlines in the wing part, draw the basic layer using a 5B pencil. Afterwards, use a smooth brush to disperse the graphite. Remove some of the darkness using a perfection eraser. Draw the highlights in the wings using an electric eraser. Darken this specific part with a 6B pencil. Draw the first layer of highlights using a perfection eraser. and the second layer using an electric eraser. Use a Posca marker or a highlighter to draw the extremely bright texture in the wing. Use these supplies to draw such dots. Take as much time as you can to complete this. Don't merge any dots together. But if you have by mistake, then later separate it using a 6B pencil. Since the highlights are more brighter than our likings, therefore blend it using a smooth brush. Match the color of these highlights with the rest of the highlights. Draw the remaining part of this wing, and the other one similarly to how I drew this. For the belly part, draw the base layer using an 8B pencil using pressure technique. Later blend it using a smooth brush. Draw the sharp hairs and texture using an electric eraser. And draw the shadows in between the highlights using a mechanical pencil. For the shadows down below, use 8B graphite powder. And later blend it using a tissue paper. Draw such hair-like structure using a mechanical pencil with high pressure. Draw the shades in the leg using an 8B pencil. And later blend it with a smooth brush. Draw the second layer using a 5B pencil. And don't blend this layer. This will give it a darker look. Also draw such highlights. At the end, draw these small and sharp hairs using a mechanical pencil. Draw the rest of the legs similarly. At the end, spray it using an art-preserving spray. This way its shades will be maintained for almost 100 years. This was it for this tutorial video. If you enjoyed watching and learned something new from it, then don't forget to like and share this video. And subscribe if you want more tutorials like this. Until then.